What's up, guys? This is Jesse with Max Level Gaming, and we're here with Dan, who just took first place in our Skirmish event. And let's see what deck he's playing. He is playing Kassai. So I think he told me that this deck has never topped a Skirmish, or has never came in first place at a Skirmish yet. So we're gonna get into his deck profile and take a look at how he picked up the win. So first, let's take a look at his equipment. So if you want to explain why you chose these pieces of equipment for your deck.
So the main reason I chose this equipment is I'm just getting this equipment in there to try and use it to block. Very rarely do I actually break the courage for a free attack, unless I'm using it to try and close the game out at the end. And then Valiant Dynamo being able to block for one pretty much every turn is really good because I'm almost always attacking twice with the sabers every turn.
So before we get into the actual deck profile, what made you choose Kassai to go into this event?
So I really enjoy playing Kassai. It's not a typically played deck. It's something that people don't usually see. But it's kind of a combination of your typical warrior and your typical ninja deck. It plays like a combination of that. I just really enjoy the play style. It's not one of the top powered decks, but it's a lot of fun to play. Just something different.
Cool. Well, let's get into the deck profile. You can explain it to us. And let's see what we got here.
So the main thing with Kassai is I'm playing with the two sabers. So I'm trying to generally attack twice with the sabers so I can get the copper tokens and then also take the counter off the dynamo. So I've got a lot of cards that basically are allowing me to attack and go again with the sabers. Spoils of War is obviously the one of the most important cards in the deck because that lets you generate a lot of coppers with the go again. I run 3 copies of Warrior's Valor, mainly because one of the ways that I play Kassai is I'm trying to deal damage, but also take cards from the opponent's hand to make them less effective on their turn. So a lot of times when you play out a hit and run into a saber swing, people will just take the damage. But when you present that Warrior's Valor into a saber swing, they're going to think twice and they're going to try and block that possibly. So I'm getting more cards out of their hand. I also run 2 yellow and 2 red hit and runs, just because they both give that go again automatically, and then they can also be used for a free buff on my second saber swing, and then 1 copy of Driving Blade red, just because it gives it that little bit of a pump and the guaranteed go again, and then as always I run the 2 Glint the Quicksilvers, just because that's such a good card with the blue pitch and being able to give go again and the possible reprise. So that's mostly what I run for getting that second saber swing in. The other thing, obviously, with Kassai is I'm trying to do a lot of damage and try and pump in that extra damage. So I have a lot of things that make my sabers more powerful, a lot of attack reactions, because I'm often trying to just sneak that damage in at the end of the game when people aren't necessarily going to block. So I run 2 red razors, 2 red out for blood, 2 red Iron Song response, 2 red Stroke of Foresight. So those are all helping to attack, react, and pump up the saber swing. And then I also run 2 red Sharpened Steels and 1 red Push Forward, just because that push forward helps as a possible closer, being able to give that second saber dominate, just to be able to push a little additional damage in. So I'm just trying to come in and swing twice, push that additional damage through and force people to block and hopefully block incorrectly, because I may not pump that first attack, I may pump the second attack, just kind of depending. So,
that's perfect.
So that's how most of the damage comes through with the sabers. I only run 3 attack action cards. I run 1 copy of Enlightened Strike and 2 copies of Nourishing Emptiness. I go very light on the attack action cards just because I'm trying to always have that Nourishing Emptiness turned on. And often with that Enlightened Strike, very rarely will I end up drawing that first. And often I'll just pitch it knowing that it'll likely come back around towards the end of the game. And I can use that to get a turn in with 3 attacks that are just really hard to block. So it's always great to play a cash in and draw into that Enlightened Strike late in the game. So. And then the other kind of closer, obviously, in this deck is 2 copies of Cash In. I'm using those, obviously, with the copper tokens to draw additional cards and be able to just hopefully get some additional attack reactions to push a lot of damage through. So the rest of the deck is all the yellows and blues, a couple defense reactions, 1 yellow steel blade shunt, 2 blue steel blade shunts, and then the rest is my blue cards, generally used for pitch, but I also have push forwards because those tend to help out at the end of the game, being able to hopefully close. 2 copies of blue Dauntless, which helps into decks that run a lot of defense reactions. And then other than that, I'm running 1 blue driving blade, blue overpower, blue out for blood, and 2 blue hit and runs. So that's the deck.
Well, that's super awesome, man. Like you said earlier, like not many people are playing Kassai. So like, what made you choose to play Kassai for this event?
You know what, we were sitting down kind of talking earlier before the event, and I really wanted to play Kassai, but it's tough because it's not always a very competitive deck, and it's got a hard matchup into Dorinthia. I have to block really well when I'm playing against Dorinthia and just hope to swing the momentum back my way. But it's just, it's something different, and it's kind of one of those things that's an accomplishment to try and,
yeah, like a challenge,
not something typically that people are playing.
Yeah, for sure. So I guess this kind of leads into the next question of just what was your hardest matchup today?
Definitely the Dorinthia matchup.
Which you played them in the finals, right?
Yeah, the matchup with Chain before the finals was tough because I had some awkward draws, and Gabe is a really good player. I've played against Gabe a lot. We're friends. But the Dorinthia matchup is always the hardest matchup just because it plays very similar to what I do, but it's generally better at what the Warrior deck does than what Kassai does. So I have to play that one very carefully, making sure I block at the right time with inefficient hands, and then take some damage when I've got some good hands to be able to come back and swing back at Dorinthia. So.
Well, I appreciate the deck profile, Dan, taking it home with Kassai. So this is Jesse once again signing out. Max Level Gaming. Peace out. Bye.